Hey guys, it is me, Maddie Davis, and today I will be reviewing The King of Staten Island. On this channel, I review movies that I have never seen before. This movie, like, no one's seen it unless they're seeing it now, like me. So yeah, every film but Friday. Yeah. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. And in the comments section, let me know what movies you watched this week in quarantine, because the whole world is in quarantine, right? With all that said, let us jump in. So many of you may ask why I wanted to review this movie. Well, let me tell you, I really liked it. And besides just liking it, I think Pete Davidson is a really great stand-up comic, and like seeing him jump into the role of leading actor in a big old film is really nice. I think he has a really refreshing personality. He's magnetic as heck, and I think he really, really carried the film in a way that I want to talk about. Now, I am so glad I got to watch this film because it is funny. I needed these laughs, but also it was so honest. I think this movie did a perfect job of balancing humor with some really heavy stuff. It deals with trauma and mental illness in a really personal way. It just felt like a slice of life. A slice of Pete's life that I was just joining him in. Pete Davidson is pretty magnetic as a stand-up comedian, in my eyes. I know some people don't find him funny, but watching him as an actor, one, made me like him more. And then two, I think would redeem him for a lot of people who aren't fans. Like, as much as I laughed, I cried. Now, I also think that the cast of characters was prime. It was such a fun and nice world to be immersed in for the 2 hours of the film, with the family members, the friends, the pals, the other people. It's great. Also, side note, the kiss at the end of this movie is one of the best on-screen kisses I've seen in a while. Like, Belle Powley, watch out for her. She's awesome. In our cast of characters, we have Moises Arias. You get the best. Ricky Velez, and we've got Lou Wilson, who I've seen in a few improv shows, and like I may have talked to him like once, and it was cool, and he's really good. So yeah, so those guys are his circle of friends, and they are fun. They have some really great dialogue and witty comebacks. I like it. And then we have Bill Burr, who had great chemistry with Pete. The arc of their relationship in this film is just so powerful. It's so good. And we'll talk more about that later in this review, but that's all I'll say for now. Playing Pete's mom, we have Marissa Tomei. Oh my gosh, she has the best monologue where she's telling off Bill Burr and Pete Davidson, and that's fire. It's fire. Now, also in this film, we have Steve Buscemi, we have Pauline Chalamet, the King's sister, and then we also have Maud Apatow, Judd Apatow's daughter. Hey! Apatow. This girl has been working a lot lately. She's been in Euphoria, she's been in Hollywood. I'm like, girl, go off. And I have to say, this film was my favorite of her work so far. I think more of why I related to her in this film, not only that she's great at acting, is that her relationship with Pete as Pete's sister really reminded me of my relationship with my brother. I mean, he's not like Pete Davidson, very different, but I don't know. It's a very emotional thing with her going off to college and him staying at home, and that's not like at all what it is between me and my brother, but the dynamic was really real, and I appreciated that. Go off, Queen. So if you don't already know, Pete Davidson often mentions in his stand-up that his dad died in 9/11, and this film revolves around Pete, but also is centralized on the relationship to the death of his father, Scott Davidson. Also, the cast of firefighters in this film were actual firefighters who worked alongside Pete's dad. So, if you can't already tell, this movie is very personal. What I think I really loved about this movie was that Pete Davidson wasn't using comedy or acting to avoid his problems or to be avoidant. He really uses them to dive into his emotions. His insecurities, his vulnerabilities. That's like, and shoot, like I really felt with him. I think with being a comedian and being a funny person, you can go about your day and make everyone around you laugh without personally being affected. Like, being funny, you don't have to deal with anything. People have to deal with you. And it was really nice and refreshing to see moments in the script where he's being affected, where he laughs at a joke that someone else tells, and where he doesn't have the comeback. Personally, I think he is a really affected person, and seeing him interact with the characters written in was really cool. Now, earlier I mentioned that the relationship between Bill Burr and Pete was really, really captivating. So let's talk about it. In the movie, Bill Burr plays the father-like figure replacement that Pete hates. There's this generational gap, there's a lack of respect, and also a very complex emotion attached in that Bill Burr's character is also a firefighter, like his dad. Now, I know that a lot of people aren't big fans of Pete's stand-up or of his personality, or a fan of people like me who are fans of this movie, but damn, I think to write in a character like Bill Burr's is some pretty moving stuff. Every time Ray and the other firefighters have to respond to a call, I am right with Pete in, oh gosh, someone's not gonna come back. Pete remarks multiple times in the film, if you're gonna be a firefighter, don't be a father. Like, why the heck would you be a father? Like, something like that. And I think that the growth that Pete's character has in this film is understanding more of who he is, understanding more of who his father was outside of just a hero or a father parental figure. And thirdly, understanding that taking action and taking a role of commitment is okay. And we need people like Pete making the world a better place, because he really does. He makes me laugh and he made me feel things. I thank you, Pete, for this movie. Pete! And I just so appreciate watching. I think with this film, I definitely reflected afterwards and I was in good spirits. I think the conclusion I came to, personally, as Maddie, is that I can let more people into my life and I might be better off because of it. Really, really. I'm being genuine. I just can't feel emotions right now. That's okay. I felt emotional during the movie. That's all. And that sums up my review for The King of Staten Island. As you can tell, I love this movie and I love Pete Davidson. So on a scale of 1 to yum, this movie is a yummy sandwich. Yummy, yummy, yummy for 2020 tummy. If you enjoyed this video, I am so glad, and if you didn't, I am so glad. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week on next week's Film Buff Friday review. Bye! I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything is gonna be going down. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything is gonna be